The arena of Vorath 9 was a wide circle of dust and broken stone. Surrounded by tall metal walls and thousands of alien eyes, the air was hot, dry, and full of noise. Creatures of every size and color filled the seats, cheering and laughing like. This was a festival, not a nightmare. In the center stood a young human girl named Lyra. Shackles held her wrists to a rusted pole behind her. The chains were heavy and old, and every small movement made them rattle. She tried not to cry. She tried not to show fear. But her heart beat so loud she could hear it in her ears. Lyra lifted her head and looked around. Above her, high in the sky, hover cameras spun slowly. They recorded her every breath. Somewhere on distant planets, people were watching. To many of them, this was entertainment. To her, it was the end. The ground trembled for a moment. Something moved in the shadows. At the edge of the arena, Lyra stared at the darkness. She could not see clearly, but she heard growls, deep and wet, like something large and hungry breathing in and out. She swallowed hard. Near the highest seat, on a balcony made of black metal, sat Overseer Kareth, the alien leader. His eyes were narrow and cold, his skin like gray stone. He wore a smile that did not touch his eyes. "Look at her," Kareth shouted, his voice echoing. A small human, weak, soft, and yet, they say humans believe they matter. They believe they can change destiny. The crowd roared with laughter. Lyra lowered her head. Her long hair fell in front of her face like a curtain. She whispered too. Herself, voice shaking, "Someone will come for me. I know it." She didn't know if it was true, but she needed to believe it. Belief was all she had left. The sun above the arena was orange and heavy, hanging like a burning coin. Dust sparkled in the air. The smell of oil and metal filled the space. This place was built for fear. Suddenly, a loud metallic bang echoed. Through the arena, a gate on the far side slid open. The crowd fell silent. A tall shape stepped into the light. It was a monster, covered in thick scales. Its body was huge, like a walking wall of muscle. It lowered its head and sniffed the air. Its golden eyes locked onto Lyra. It growled, a low sound that vibrated in her bones. The crowd screamed in excitement. Some placed bets, some cheered. Some shouted cruel things. Lyra closed her eyes. The monster took one step forward, then another. Chains rang as Lyra pressed back against the pole, trying to make herself smaller. Fear spread through her like ice. She felt alone in the universe. And then a rising murmur moved through the arena. Whispered voices, confusion. People turned, pointing. The opposite side of the arena, another gate, smaller than the monster gate, opened with a slow, heavy sigh. Dust rolled out in a cloud. The sunlight hit something metal. Something human. A man walked out. He wore simple, dark clothing and a long coat. Dust clung to his boots. He moved like a shadow. Calm, steady, not afraid. He had no weapon in his hands. No armor, no army behind him, only a human. The crowd gasped. Some laughed. Others cursed. Lyra opened her eyes. The man stepped forward, step by step, until the sun touched his face. He was older than Lyra, maybe in his mid-30s. His jaw was strong, his eyes steady, and there were small scars across his knuckles. He looked like someone who had seen war and lived through it. The man looked at Lyra, nothing else. His voice was quiet, but the arena felt still like it could hear him. "I'm here." The monster growled louder. Overseer Kareth leaned forward. "One human? Alone? What do you expect to do? This is not your world. You cannot save her." The man did not look at Kareth. His eyes stayed on Lyra. "My name is Jax Wren," he said. Lyra shook her head, tears forming. "You should run. Please, you can't stop them. No one can." Jax's expression did not change. His voice was low, but firm. "Humans don't run." The crowd roared again. They thought he was foolish. They thought he came to die. Dust spun through the air like wind from another world. The monster took a step closer, claws scraping stone. Jacques Ren raised his chin. For a moment, everything was quiet. He whispered, almost to himself, "I will not walk away." Then he stepped between Lyra and the beast. And the universe held its breath. Jacques Ren stood in the arena like a single stone, against a storm. Dust pulled around his boots as the wind changed. The monster across from him lowered its heavy head, confused for a moment, as if trying to understand why this human was not afraid. The crowd did not understand either. "Look at him!" An alien shouted from the stands. "He thinks courage is enough." Another voice barked laughter. "Humans think heart is a weapon." Jacques didn't care. The fear, the noise, the insults, they all passed through him like wind through a door. He looked only at Lyra. She still shook, her hands chained behind her back, her eyes wide with terror. He spoke quietly, but she heard him anyway. "You're not alone anymore." The monster took another step, the ground shaking under its weight. Its scaled tail dragged behind it, leaving marks in the dust. Jacques didn't stare at it. He studied the arena instead. Every corner, every gate, every camera, every possible escape. It looked like he was doing nothing. But inside, Jacques was working faster than any machine. He counted guard positions. He measured the monster's breathing. He listened for patterns in the alien technology, the electrical hum, the timing of the gate engines, the rhythm of the shock panels in the floor. He was calculating. Overseer Kareth stood and spread his arms. "Welcome, viewers across the stars. Another human believes he can change fate. Let us watch destiny prove him wrong." The crowd cheered like it was a holiday. "Weapon?" A guard shouted down to Jacques. "Where is your weapon, little human?" Jacques finally looked away from Lyra and stared up at the guard. He lifted both empty hands. "Right here." Silence rolled through the arena like thunder. Then someone laughed. Then more. Soon the whole arena shook from the sound. Lyra closed her eyes. She wanted to believe him. She really did. But she felt so small, so weak, so breakable. "You should not have come," she whispered. Jake stepped closer to her. The monster responded, muscles tensing, waiting for a reason to strike. "I came because someone had to," he answered. "And humans don't wait for permission to do the right thing." As he spoke, he gently shifted his sleeve. Underneath, hidden against his wrist, was a small device, no larger than a coin. It blinked once, a soft blue pulse. Before going still again, he checked the position of every guard. One more time. The time was not right yet. He needed seconds. "Just a few." The monster growled, louder now. It lifted a claw and slammed it into the ground beside Jacques. Dust flew up like smoke. Lyra screamed his name, but Jacques didn't move. His eyes stayed calm, steady. It was like he was made of iron, even. The monster paused, uncertain, as if some instinct deep inside it felt the weight of his presence. "Humans," Jacques murmured, "learn to face storms." Kareth leaned forward, frustrated. "End this." "Beast, take him." The monster reacted instantly. Launching forward. Jax moved. He didn't run. He didn't attack. He stepped to the side, careful and controlled, like he already knew the creature's path. Its body rushed past him, missing by mere inches, crashing into the pole behind Lyra. She jerked as the pole shook. Jacques reached her chains. His fingers brushed the cold metal, searching. Their magnetic lock. Alien technology. Too strong to break by hand, but not too strong for his mind. He looked at her. "Hold on. When I say run." "How?" she whispered. "We can't escape. They will kill us." Jacques smiled softly. "Maybe. But remember something. Humans get to choose how their story ends." Before she could answer, 2 alien guards jumped from the stands, landing in the arena with stun rifles raised. They pointed. At Jax, he lifted his hands slowly. Not in surrender, in preparation. From above, Kareth shouted, "This is your last warning, human. Walk away, or die here." Jax tilted his head, as if considering the offer. Then he spoke 3 quiet words. Don't walk away." His thumb pressed the device on his wrist. A pulse of energy surged across the arena like a silent wave. It wasn't bright. It wasn't loud. But every machine felt it. Cameras glitched. Shock panels sparked. The monster stumbled, confused. The guards' rifles flickered. The magnetic lock on Lyra's chains clicked. The shackle loosened. Her eyes widened. Jax leaned close and whispered, "Part 1 is done. Now let's break their world." The crowd gasped. The arena trembled, and humanity began to rise. The energy pulse faded, leaving the arena in a strange silence. Sparks danced from broken wires. The stadium lights flickered, flashing on and off like a heartbeat. For a moment, the whole world felt unsteady, like reality was waiting for someone to push it in a new direction. Jax Wren lowered his hand from his wrist device. He looked at Lyra. Her chains hung loose now, open like defeated jaws. "You're free," he said, but she didn't move. She stared at him, breath shaking. Freedom felt unreal, like a dream too big to hold. I don't know what to do." "Then we learn," Jax replied. "Together." The monster behind them roared, confused and angry. It swung its head, golden eyes flashing, as if trying to decide who to attack first. The arena trembled under its weight. Overseer Kareth slammed his fist on the railing. "Guards, secure the human. Reset the systems." Alien soldiers rushed forward, stun rifles charging with unstable energy. Some jumped into the arena. Others aimed from above. The crowd buzzed with excitement again, laughter mixing with fear. They didn't know what would happen next. They had never seen someone break the rules of this place. Jax moved fast, but not recklessly. He grabbed Lyra's wrist. "Stay close," he warned. "Don't look at the fear. Look at the path." "What path?" she asked. "This one." He sprinted toward the left side of the arena where a service door sat behind a metal barricade. It was half hidden, built for workers, not fighters. The guards didn't expect anyone to try for it. The monster roared and charged. Jax pulled Lyra with him, leaping to the side as one enormous claw slammed into the ground where they had stood a moment before. Dust exploded upward. Lyra coughed, blinking through the cloud. Jax steadied her. "It's watching us," she said. "No," Jax corrected. "It's learning us." She didn't like the sound of that. They reached the barricade, but it stood too tall, too solid. The door behind it was reinforced with alien steel. Lyra bit her lip. "We can't go through." Jax pressed his palm to the lock panel. It sparked, short-circuited. The pulse from his device had reached deeper than either of them expected. "It's not about going through," Jax said. "It's about the timing around it." He pushed the barricade, testing its weight. Too heavy. Then he scanned the top. Electric wiring, weak sparks. Too unstable to climb. The monster drew closer, growling. They had seconds, maybe less. Lyra looked at him. "We need a plan," Jax smiled. "We already have one. We just didn't know it until now." He turned sharply and shouted toward the monster, voice echoing, "Hey! Over here!" Lyra's heart dropped. "Are you crazy?" "Only on weekdays," he answered. The monster charged again. Jax waited, one heartbeat, two, then shoved Lyra aside and dove clear. The beast crashed into the barricade, smashing it like it was made of cardboard, metal bent inward. The service door shook violently. "See?" Jax said, offering Lyra his hand. "Teamwork. That's not teamwork," she yelled. "That's chaos." "Chaos is just strategy without patience," Jax replied. They moved through the twisted gap. Inside, the service hall was dark and narrow. lit by flickering emergency lights. Pipes rattled overhead. The smell of old fuel filled the air. Behind them, another roar. The monster tried to squeeze through, but the gap was too small. Its claws scraped metal, but it could not reach them. For now, Jock scanned the hall. We go up. Up? Why up? Because down leads to cells, and we've had enough of those. They ran, boots striking metal steps. Echoes chased them up the stairwell. Lyra stumbled once, but Jax caught her before she fell. How do you know this place? She asked. I don't, he said. But alien prisons all share the same weakness. What? Weakness? They think control lasts forever. When they reach the top, they burst into a control room filled with screens. Most were glitching from the pulse. One screen, however, flickered enough to show the arena below. Guards gathering, the monster pacing in circles, the crowd chanting. Lyra stepped closer to the screens. She trembled. They aren't stopping. No, Jax agreed. They won't, but neither will we. Kareth's voice boomed through the intercom, angrier now, less confident. Human, you cannot escape. The arena is sealed. Every exit is locked. You are trapped like every prisoner before you. This is the end. Jax looked directly into a camera. He knew Kareth was watching. No, he said. This is the beginning. He tapped the wrist device again. A small blue light returned, low power, but not gone. Lyra stared. What now? Jax turned to her. For the first time, she saw something new in his eyes. Not just strength, but hope. Bright, burning hope. Now, he said, we show them what humans do when the universe says no. A deep alarm began to sound. Doors unlocked somewhere, systems rebooted with unstable energy. And the monster, freed from its last restraint, roared louder than it ever had. The chase was not over. It was only getting started. Asterisk red alarm lights flashed. Across the control room, bathing everything in a harsh glow. Sirens echoed like distant screams. The screens on the walls flickered with glitching images. Guards sprinting through hallways. The monster clawing at broken steel, the crowd evacuating in confusion. Jack stood still for a moment, breathing slow. As if he were listening to the building itself, Lyra watched him. We can't stay here. We won't, Jax replied. But we don't run blind. Running blind gets you caught. We move with purpose. He tapped a screen, trying to stabilize it. The feed cleared enough to show the layout of the arena complex. Corridors, stairwells, locked rooms, and near the top an airship platform. Lyra gasped. A way out. Maybe, Jack said. If they haven't locked it down. Behind them. Metal screeched. The monster forced its way through the barricade below. Even from here, they felt the vibration. We don't have long, Lyra whispered. Jax touched her shoulder gently. Then let's make every second count. He led her out of the control room and into a long corridor. The walls shook as systems rebooted. Energy conduits sparkled like lightning in the pipes overhead. Here and there, automated turrets tried to power on, but the EMP pulse had broken them. They twitched uselessly like dying spiders. Lyra stayed close. She noticed Jax checked corners before moving, always 2 steps ahead. It was like he had walked this path before, even though she knew he hadn't. How do you stay calm? She asked. I breathe, he answered. And I remember that fear is only a question. What question? Jax looked at her. Fear asks, will you stop here? And I answer, no. They reached a lift door. The panel beside it flickered with glitching symbols. Jax pressed the button. Nothing happened. He pressed again. Still nothing. Lyra's hope dimmed. We're trapped, no, Jax said. He knelt, pulled a small multi-tool from his boot, and popped the panel open. Sparks flew. He adjusted a wire, touched 2 points together, and the lift jerked with life. The doors slid open. Inside, 3 Alien guards waited with stun rifles raised. Lyra gasped. She stepped back. She expected Jocks to freeze or panic. He didn't. He moved in one motion. He stepped inside, grabbed the rifle of the first guard, twisted, and redirected its barrel. The shot fired harmlessly into the ceiling. Before the second guard could react, Jocks pushed the first into him, knocking them both down. The third guard aimed, but Lyra, acting on instinct, slammed into him. The shot fired wide, shattering a wall panel. Jocks finished the fight quickly, removing the guard's power cells and tossing the rifles aside. He didn't hurt them. He only took away their threat. Lyra stared, amazed. "How did you learn all that?" "Humans learn fast," he said simply. They rode the lift upward. The doors closed, hiding the chaos below. As the lift ascended, the building shook again. The monster was climbing now, its roars echoing up the shaft like thunder traveling. Through stone, Lyra gripped the railing. "Why won't it stop?" "Because something taught it to hate," Jocks said. "Nothing dangerous is born, it's made." The lift stopped. The doors opened into a hallway leading to the airship platform. Wind rushed through broken windows, carrying the smell of fuel and the vast, open sky. Lyra took a step forward and froze. Overseer Kareth stood blocking the path, flanked by elite guards in black armor. His eyes burned with fury. "This ends now," Kareth hissed. "You should have died quietly. Humans should know their place." Jocks stepped in front of Lyra. "We don't have a place, we make one." Kareth raised a hand. The guards lifted their weapons. Then the building shuddered violently. From behind, the lift shaft exploded open. The monster burst into the hallway, roaring so loud the windows shattered. It towered over them all, its scales scraping the ceiling. The guards panicked, breaking formation. Kareth stumbled back. "Control it! Someone control it!" But no one could. Jocks looked between Kareth, the guards, and the monster. He could see the fear. He could see the moment their structures of power collapsed. "Your mistake," Jocks said softly, "was thinking humans fight alone." He touched his wrist device again. It had one final spark left. Lyra, now. Together they ran. Not away from everything, but toward the airship door. The monster lunged. The guards fired. The hallway collapsed. And the arena, the symbol of power and control on Vorath 9, began to fall apart. Jocks and Lyra threw themselves through the airship platform doors as the world behind them shook like thunder. They had no idea if the next step would save them or kill them, but they took it anyway, because humans don't stop here. Cold air hit their faces as Jocks and Lyra burst onto the airship platform. The wind tasted like metal in storm clouds. Below, the city stretched out across jagged rocks and neon towers, too far to jump, too close to ignore. Above them, starships hummed like sleeping giants, docked in their ports. Behind them, the hallway shook. The monster roared, the sound chasing them like a shadow. Lyra pressed her back to the wall, panting. "We can't keep running forever." "We don't need forever," Jocks replied. "We only need a chance." He scanned the platform. One airship remained untouched, a small cargo craft, gray and rusted, docked near the edge. It looked old, like it had seen better days. Lyra stared at it. "That thing can fly?" "It has wings," Jocks said with a shrug. "Hopefully the engines still remember what to do." He moved toward it, but the airship doors were locked. A keypad blinked red, denying access. Lyra looked around, desperate. "Can your device break it?" He checked the power. The tiny light on the wrist tool flickered weakly. "Maybe, or it might fry the whole system. Then we're stuck." "Try," she said. "We have no other choice." Jocks started working on the panel, fingers moving with calm precision. Lyra gazed back at the hallway. She heard claws scraping, metal bending, voices shouting orders. Every second felt like a heartbeat before a storm. Fear crawled up her spine, but she didn't look away. Something inside her refused to hide. Maybe courage wasn't the absence of fear. Maybe it was choosing anyway. "Why did you come?" she asked suddenly, voice trembling. "Why risk everything for someone you don't know?" Jacques paused. Wind blew his coat back, revealing faint scars across his arms. None looked like fresh wounds, more like memories carved into skin. "I was like you once," he said quietly. Chained, watched, expected to break. Lyra's eyes widened. Jax continued, "And someone came for me. A stranger. They didn't know my name. They didn't have a reason. They just saw a human and decided that was reason enough." Lyra swallowed. "Did they survive?" Jax didn't answer immediately. The silence spoke before he did. "They didn't. But I did. And I won't waste what they gave me." Lyra felt her throat tighten. There was pain in his voice, but also fire. The kind of fire that made worlds wake up. The keypad beeped. The door remained shut. Jax sighed. "Okay, plan B. Plan B?" Lyra repeated. Jock stepped back. "Help me." He braced his shoulder against the airship door. Lyra hesitated. "We can't break metal," Jock grinned. "That's what they said about our spirits, too." Together, they pushed. The metal groaned. The door didn't open, but the frame shook. They pushed again. This time, something inside the locking mechanism snapped. The door slid open a fraction. A voice shouted from behind them. Guards poured onto the platform, stun rifles raised. The monster climbed through the hall's ruined entrance, eyes burning with instinct and rage. Jox and Lyra pushed once more, and the door finally gave way, opening enough for them to squeeze inside. "Go!" Jox yelled. Lyra scrambled into the cockpit. The controls were dusty but functional. She sat in the pilot's chair, unsure what to do. Jax jumped in behind her, sealing the door as best as he could. Claws slammed against the hull. Sparks flew across the metal. Jock strapped himself in. "Okay, do you know how to fly?" Lyra stared at the console. "I've seen people do it. That's good enough. Humans learn fast, remember." He reached across her and hit the ignition. The ship rumbled, coughing like a tired beast. Then engines roared awake. The platform shook as energy built beneath them. Outside, Kareth appeared with a squad of soldiers. His voice boomed above the storm. "You can't escape. If you leave, every corner of the galaxy will hunt you." Jax looked through the window, meeting Kareth's eyes. "We're humans," he said. "We'll manage." He hit the throttle. The airship lifted, rising unsteadily. The ground fell away. The monster leaped, claws scraping the hull, but the ship pulled free, climbing into the sky. Lyra gripped the controls, knuckles white. "Jax, this thing is shaking." "Encourage it," he replied. "Talk to it. This ship has feelings, probably." Lyra almost laughed the first hint of a laugh since she'd been chained. "Come on, ship, don't quit on us, please." Maybe the ship understood. Or maybe hope carried them. The engines steadied. Clouds rushed past the windows. The arena shrank behind them, a broken symbol against the horizon. Lyra breathed in. For the first time, the air tasted like possibility. "We made it," she whispered. Jax shook his head. "We escaped. That's not the same as winning." She turned to him. "Then what now?" He looked toward the stars. "Now," he said, "we show the galaxy what humans do next." The airship shook as it climbed through the clouds. Outside, lightning flashed like cracks in the sky. The engines whined, struggling to lift them higher. Panels flickered, warning lights blinked red, and the hull rattled like an old heartbeat. Lyra held the controls, jaw tight. Her fingers trembled, but her eyes were focused. Jack sat beside her, scanning the navigation screen. It showed a map of the sky and something else. A red signal. Growing closer. Something's behind us, Jack said. Lyra turned. Through the rear window, a dark shape chased them. At first it looked like a shadow, but then engines flared. A sleek alien pursuit craft streaked through the storm, closing the distance. "They're coming," Lyra whispered. "They always do," Jax replied. Calmly, the alien ship fired. Blue energy bolts lit up the clouds. Lyra jerked the controls, and the ship rolled to the side. The bolt missed, slicing through the storm like a comet. Lyra gasped. "I can't keep dodging like this." "Yes, you can," Jax said. "Because you already are." He reached forward and flipped a switch above her. The ship hummed louder, stabilizing. The storm winds no longer tossed it like a toy. "What did you do?" Lyra asked. "I trusted the ship," Jax answered. "And you?" The alien craft fired again. More accurate. Closer. Lyra bit her lip. "We need help." "We might have it," Jax said. He reached into his coat and pulled out a small silver device. Lyra recognized it. It was the same kind of beacon. He used to disrupt the arena's systems, but this one was different. This one glowed. "You didn't use all your tools," Lyra said softly. "No," Jax replied. "Some things are saved for the right moment." He pressed the device. A quiet pulse spread through the ship. This time, not like an EMP, more like a signal. A call, a cry for anyone listening in the void. Then, suddenly, the engine died. Lights went out. Wind screamed. The ship fell. Lyra shouted, grabbing the controls. "Jax, the system is shutting down." He didn't panic. He placed his hand over hers. "Trust it. I do." But the ground doesn't care. They dropped through the clouds. The alien craft followed, ready to strike. Then the silver beacon blinked bright. A new sound cut through the storm. Not thunder. Not engines. Something bigger. Something human. A massive starship broke through the clouds beneath them, a vessel of steel and light, with the symbol of Earth shining across its hull. Lyra stared. "Is that?" "Our beacon call reached them," Jax said. "I hoped it would." The human starship opened its hangar doors. A magnetic field extended like a giant invisible hand. Jax grabbed the controls with Lyra and guided the falling airship toward it. The alien craft fired one last time. The bolt missed by inches. The magnetic field caught them. The airship slid into the hangar, landing with a rough but safe skid across the deck. Alarms blared. Medics and soldiers ran forward. The hangar flooded with warm human voices. They were safe. For the first time, Lyra felt it. She was really truly safe. Jax helped her out of her seat. Her legs shook as they stepped onto solid metal. She looked around, tears gathering in her eyes. Humans, so many humans. A woman with captain stripes approached. She stopped in front of Jax and saluted sharply. "Commander Wren," she said, "we received your distress call." "The Vanguard fleet stands ready." Lyra blinked. "Commander? You're military?" Jax paused. He looked tired now, like the weight of his past had finally caught up to him. "I used to be. I left after I thought I failed. But I guess the galaxy wasn't done with me yet." The captain turned to Lyra. "And you? Name?" Lyra straightened her shoulders. "Lyra," she said. "Just Lyra." The captain nodded. "Then welcome aboard, Miss Lyra. Today, humanity stands for you." From the doorway, a deep roar echoed, faint, distant. The monster had followed them. Somehow, some part of it still lived on the platform above, refusing to give up. It clawed at the edge, its silhouette against the storm. Lyra grabbed Jax's arm. "It won't stop." "No," Jax said. "Because someone taught it to hate, and we will teach it something else." He looked at the captain. "We're not running anymore." The captain nodded. "Then we prepare for battle." Lyra felt something new rise in her chest. Not fear. Purpose. Maybe humans weren't strong because they never fell. Maybe humans were strong because they always stood back up. The hangar of the human starship shook as alarms echoed again. Red lights flashed across the ceiling. Outside the magnetic shield, lightning crackled through the storm, and the roar of the monster echoed like thunder. Lyra stood beside Jax, both facing the hangar entrance. The floor vibrated beneath their feet, as if the galaxy itself held its breath. Humans in uniform moved quickly around them, securing doors, prepping weapons, sealing hull panels. Everyone worked with purpose. The captain stepped forward. Commander. Ren, the alien forces are regrouping. If they reach us before we jump to hyperspace, we're trapped. Jax nodded. How long until the jump engines are ready? 5 minutes, she replied. 5 minutes, a short time. A lifetime. Lyra looked at Jax. We can't let them take this ship. We won't, he said. He turned to her, eyes softer now. You've already escaped the impossible. The rest is momentum. Lyra took a deep breath. She felt the weight of his words. For the first time, she understood them. Fear was not a chain. Fear was a signal. A question. Will you stop here? No, she whispered to herself. I won't. The hangar doors flickered. The storm outside glowed bright blue as alien craft gathered, dozens of them. They formed a circle around the human starship, like predators around a wounded animal. The captain raised her voice. Shields at 60%. All stations prepare to defend. Jax looked around the hangar. He saw crates, tools, broken drones, fuel tanks, chaos waiting to be organized. He smiled. Humans, he said, don't need perfect conditions. We need opportunity. He grabbed a comm device from the wall. His voice spread through the ship's speakers. This is Jax Ren. Listen carefully. We are outnumbered, outgunned, and we are in the middle of enemy territory. But that doesn't decide our story. We do. Across the ship, voices hushed. Fingers paused over controls. Hearts listened. Every species in this galaxy knows one thing about humans. They underestimate. U.S. They think we only survive by accident. Let's show them the truth. Stand your ground. Fight smart. Trust each other. And remember who we are. He lowered the comm. The captain stared, stunned. Lyra smiled, awe in her eyes. The hangar gates burst open. Alien drones flooded through, metal wings slicing the air. The winds from the storm tore through the room. Humans formed defensive lines. Energy shields activated like walls of light. Jax looked at Lyra. Ready? No, she said honestly, but I'll go anyway. That's readiness, he replied. Together they moved. Jax coordinated the crew, redirecting power from non-crucial systems to the shields. Lyra found herself beside a technician, passing tools, helping repair a failing conduit. Sparks flew as they sealed it. Good work. The technician shouted. Lyra blinked. Someone just praised her. In the arena, she was a victim. Here, she was a person. In the hangar, Jax confronted a squad of alien soldiers forcing their way inside. He didn't need to fight every one of them. He targeted the weak points: lighting, vents, support beams. He used the space like a weapon. Pressure. Doors slammed shut. Fuel lines rerouted, destabilizing the alien's path. He made the ship itself an ally. The monster roared from outside, climbing along the hull. Its claws scraped metal. It tried to tear its way in. Lyra saw it. Fear rose, but something rose with it. She ran to a control panel near the hangar doors. Her fingers hovered. I don't know what I'm doing, she whispered. Jax's voice, distant but clear, answered. Then learn. Humans learn. Lyra pressed a series of controls, guided by instinct and memory. A containment field activated outside the hangar, a barrier of energy. The monster slammed against it, stopped in its tracks. Not hurt, Just held. The beast roared, confused but no longer a threat. The ship HUMMAD. The engines charged. Jump engines at full power. The captain called. Jocks ran back to Lyra, breath heavy but eyes shining. You did it. No, Lyra said. We did it. The captain took command. All crew prepare for hyperspace jump. Outside, alien ships closed in, weapons charging. Lyra grabbed Jocks's hand. Will we make it? He squeezed gently. Humans make things happen. The starship surged. Stars stretched into lines. The storm fell. Away. The universe opened. And they jumped. Silence filled the command deck. The screen showed only the calm black of space, dotted with stars. No aliens, no arena, no chains. Just freedom. The captain looked at Jocks. Where do we go now? Jocks turned to Lyra. She chooses. Lyra blinked. Me? You earned it. He said. You survived. You fought. You changed your story. She stepped forward, voice steady. We go where humans are needed. Where people think hope is impossible. We prove them wrong. Everyone heard her. Everyone believed her. Jocks nodded. Then our journey begins now. The camera drone near the ceiling, one that recorded everything, blinked red. Broadcasting. Not a show of fear. A message, across worlds, across screens, across galaxies. Audiences saw a human girl once chained and broken now, standing tall among stars. And somewhere, in the darkness between suns, a new voice began to whisper. Humans are not small. Humans change everything.